A warm welcome back to Carpathian countryside for episode 20 with me, MrSealyp. We're out of April, we're into May here on Carpathian countryside. I've just got back from the store having purchased some herbicide. Can only mean one thing, I've got weeds. On my cornfield, the weeds are there. What I am going to do as well, I put the new-ish vent up on the ramps. We need to do a bit of repair on that, and we'll do a bit of a jet whoosh. How are we looking at that repair? 1,842. Thank you very much. Can I jet wash it from here? Oh, I can. Saves me moving it twice and doing it. Is it cleaning? It looks like it's cleaning. We'll come down, we'll grab the sprayer. I don't know, did I leave anything in it? I might have left some liquid fertiliser in it. We'll take that out, we'll go and do the spraying. I've had a thought. I know I said about there's been some updates and some changes here, and we're on the updated version. And I said about maybe buying the sawmill. So some of our hard-earned cash from the baling contract we did, I think to buy the sawmill is 125 grand. So we're investing in infrastructure, we're investing in our future. And I'm going to probably invest in something. I've done wood chipping in all different ways, all different let's plays. I've used stationary wood chippers, I've used mobile wood chippers, I've used self-propelled wood chippers, I've done all sorts of stuff. I've used the Devourer, I've done stuff like that. Now, there was a stationary wood chipper that has had a few updates since I last used it. So what I might do is clear a couple of trees, place it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some wood chips, because are you chip bored? Do you like what I did there? Got it left in there? There's a little bit in the front. I've done wood chip, all sorts of stuff with wood chips. Various different productions that have required them. I've done them for pellets and all sorts of things. We need to unload that there. That's our liquid fertiliser out. But up on the sawmill now, we can take lumber there and we can produce planks, which we can do. But we can do, with wood chips, we can do chipboard. So I thought, you know what? I haven't done that before. Let's give it a go. So I think we might do that. I'm going to whiz up by the sawmill, cut a couple of trees and put down the static wood chipper. Then we'll run a load of lumber into the static wood chipper. I'll take my little oh, that's what I meant to do. Oh, someone sent me a picture of their telehandler with a weight on the back saying no need for the Mantrid lightweight anymore, because it was like a wraparound. Oh, who was it? I've done it again, I'm so sorry. And I thought, oh, I'll have to have a look for that, and then completely forgot to do it. I have been asked, actually, over the last couple of weeks, actually, since just prior to FarmCon and just after it. It's something I haven't done. I normally do it towards the end of when we get to the end of a particular run of the game. So when we're getting ready to kind of move it towards, will be FS25 probably the next one. I do a kind of top 10, top 5, top, you know. So I was asked about, as it stands at the moment, what are my favourite mods that I use, but also the most. It's a difficult one, and I always say this. It's why I kind of shy away from doing them sometimes. But I've been giving this some thought, and there's most used mods is one way of going. And there's most helpful. Now, because of what I do, my helpful mods may be completely different to what your help. I mean, that goes with any top 5, top 10 maps, vehicles, mods, whatever it might be. Everyone's will be different. And because I YouTube, because I make videos, when I'm doing mod reviews and I'm trying to set up my mods, because I play on console, and I can't use a lot of the tools that PC guys use, I try and use things that make my life easier. So I would say I tried to do a list of top 5s, and I had so much stuff. I think I'm going to do top 10s. To be my top 10 most helpful mods, not necessarily most used, but most helpful. And then my top 10, probably 10, maybe 5, favourite. And that's not necessarily mods I use a lot, but mods, you know, whenever I do a mod review, and I'll say, I'm always looking for something that stands out. And this should spot apply, because we paid for the extra. Absolutely fantastic. You can see our weeds growing in patches. Let's get them dealt with. And because these crops grow in rows, you can see them a lot easier than other crops when we've done weed application before, herbicide application. So we'll get this done. So yeah, I always say about I like mods that stand out. It'd be mods that make me smile, mods that I think that's cool, that's different, and that always runs into that dodgy category, that say dodgy to dangerous category, when people say that's not farming. I cannot wait for this emergency service pack to come to console. Honestly, I just think to add that little bit extra, you know, you could be a farmer that's doing your farming, and you could be a reserve fireman, you could be, you know, or emergency services, paramedic, whatever you want to be. My uncle did it. He was, well, it was fireman. He also did lifeboat crews down the coast in Devon, and he was a fire engine driver. But he was reserve crew, so if they got the call, he would race down to the fire station. He wasn't permanently employed, and you know, so you could do something along those lines. You're doing your farming, but you're also reserve crew for doing. You know, I know there's a lot of stuff that's not farming, but a lot of times that's stuff that makes me smile. That makes me, when I get a mod review, I get kind of excited. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. You know, so I might do that. I might do a top 10 favourite mods. There'll be some that, for some people, if you've been watching my channel a while, will be kind of obvious. You'll be like, oh, well, of course he would have put that in there. But there might be some that surprise you. Some things that I haven't used since I reviewed them, or I might have only used once or twice, but that I still think are brilliant, and I really like them. So, yeah, well, I might do that. I mentioned last week, was it last week? About on the 17th, I'm supposed to be going with my brother to do the Harriet Way, which should be a 4-day adventure, and I'm really torn at the moment because of leaving the channel, not putting up content. And a few people have said to me, well, just can't you back content up? And you know, I've been given some advice and things I should do, and the problem is it's difficult when I'm struggling to find enough time to put my usual content up, to do extra content to be able to put up while I'm away is tricky. And then I woke up this morning and my back's killing me. You remember a while back when I put my back out and I was laid up for, what, a week? Couldn't even move. I've never known pain like it. My back is killing me. I've got less than a week. I've got to let my brother know what I'm doing, and I really want to do it. I've been gathering all my stuff together. I've been getting a few bits online, things, that resources and things that I was short of, things that I needed to do it, and I really, really want to do it. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But like I said, I'm hoping to film, I'm hoping to record. I don't know if I'm going to live stream. Depends whether I can get a signal. So I might do some walk and talk. I know I've mentioned this before, but whatever I do, if I do film, I'm going to put up some content of that, of doing that. Because as I said, it's going to be in farmland, it's going to be in Yorkshire countryside. I just think it'll be nice. I think for that kind of mental health, well-being thing, it's sometimes you just need to do something like that, you know, just to prove to yourself you're still alive. It's very difficult when you're making content and you're sat at a desk a lot of the time, you know. I've said before, you get that urge that I want to go to the Lake District, I need to get away, you need to get out into nature, and I think that's very good to do it every now and again. So anyway, I'll get this done, and then I will see you probably over at the sawmill. We'll grab the sawmill, I say grab it, like we're going to take it somewhere else, and then we'll sort out getting that done and see if we can do some chipboard. And then we'll skip ahead to, I guess it'll be harvest. It'll be the wheat harvest and the corn harvest on here, and the next step forward from there. I said about pigs, doing corn will give me enough crops or crop types from harvest contracts I've done before. I want to pick up more harvest contracts when we get into harvest season to be able to make pig food using the pig food mixer in the main barn. That's something I want to have a look at, because I know that was a kind of feature of the map, and I thought, well, you know, I want to do that, but I haven't got to a point where I've got enough crops to do that yet. But with the corn, I should have. So we'll get some pig food made, we'll get some pigs in at the farm. I know I've been saying all these things a lot, and like I say, because there was a big gap when I went to FarmCon, it feels like it's been ages since I spoke about this stuff. I remembered as I was heading back with my herbicide that another part of the update was storage. We got bale storage for 2,000 bales just over that way, but part of this update was storage over here. So I should be able to I've put my liquid my herbicide in there already. I should be able to unload this and put the seeds in there and store everything in this little building here. I completely forgot. So hopefully, if I back up far enough, there we go. And then do the back one. There we go. If I just give him a bit of a nudge, I should really be using the telehandler. There we go. There we go. In storage in there. So I've got it all scattered around the yard. Just makes it nice and neat and tidy, doesn't it? So I can get that out whenever I need it. So I can open the doors, we can go in. And I think the trigger's over here somewhere. There we go. So I can go through my stuff that's in there. That's going to make life a lot easier, isn't it? So I'm going to put my seed in there. I've got some lime and I've got the rest of this liquid fertiliser. I've got liquid fertiliser in that big tank. Obviously this is when I unload and swap over. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought it was going. I've got my little telehandler on the back. I've got a mentored weight. I can't find the weight that Tiago mentioned. He sent me a picture of this lovely little weight that wrapped around. I can't find it. I've had a look. Can't seem to find it. So I've got a mentored lightweight on the back. On the front, I've got from the CSZ pack a log cradle. Really, and this is somewhere between a log grapple, and the big bag handlers that I normally use when I do logging. I always used to use a manure fork, and people remember back before the big bag handlers with the straps were a thing. I always used to use a manure fork. I just preferred it. But this is a log kind of cradle, but it has straps as well, so it's kind of somewhere between. So I'm going to use this, and yeah, we're back to that, the age-old thing, aren't we? It's buying the sawmill is going to cost me 125 grand or 100 grand, and I think the static wood chipper, static wood chipping, is 25. So I'm going to be 150 grand in. So it's a big chunk of our money. The wood chip boards, pay out pretty well, but I'll also have the ability, if I want to cut down more trees at any point and put just lumber through it for planks, I could do that. But I need to wood chip to do this. Then we'll deliver the wood chip to the sawmill. Sawmill would make it into chipboard. Chipboard's one of those weird things. When I did my loft conversion years ago, when I moved into our house, and I wanted to use it, wanted it to be usable space, chipboard flooring was the kind of cheapest you could get for doing lofts and things. And it kind of interlocks. But the problem is with chipboard flooring, it's not particularly strong, and if it gets wet in any way, shape or form, it just dissolves, it just falls to pieces. Then you start getting things like oriented strand board, and you can get oriented strand board waterproof, like marine version of it, the same as like ply and marine ply, you can get very through. An oriented strand board is bigger sections, it's more laminated, whereas I think wood chip board is just mixed with glue and like slammed together just to... So that, I mean, that's what we're going to be making. Like I said, this is a different product. Not something I've made before, so I thought let's give it a go. Why not? I could have as well, probably at this point, grabbed a tree harvester. There've been a few I've used on Western Wilds and different Let's Plays where you can start off fairly cheaply and have a go. Dozer John did message me the other day and said what I should have done was ploughed out to my left first. Oh, hang on, we got grass. Oh, look how grass is growing. Fancy. Yeah, I'm not sure about this now. We'll see what happens. If we get some olives, great. If we don't, it's a learning experience, isn't it? Yeah, he said, oh, I should have ploughed it all out before I put the olive trees in. So when I messaged him back, I said I hadn't even thought about planting anything. I was just going to do the olive groves, and when I was putting the olive groves down and they were done, and I thought, okay, I need to plough these out. When the grass is grown, I need to mulch them. I looked around thinking, it's just forestry floor sat there really, and I could use that space. So unfortunately, my thought process was the wrong way around on it. Yes, in hindsight, it would have been better to plough it all out first, then put the olive trees down, but I didn't. So can't do a lot about it now. Right, turn the beacon off. So I've got my chainsaw, which we'll use. We'll do it by hand as I've been doing. We'll grab the logs. Once I've got a bit of space, I don't think I want to try and find a fairly flat bit of land, so it's not going to probably here, I guess, to put in the stationary wood chipper. I'm going to need to cut some trees around it. Oh, that's what I meant to do. I'll grab a tractor and I'm going to stump grind this time. I'm going to get a stump grinder, bring it out and do that. But first things first, it's always scary when you're spending money. It is 125 grand, but turn that off. So we can do our planks and we can do chipwood boards. We might as well. Although looking at that, it's a 3-to-1 ratio, so we're only going to get a third back, but it's alright. I still think doing that, if I just sold the wood chips, the price for wood chip is really low. The price for boards, I think even if you lose 2/3 of your product to make the chipboard, it's still worth way more selling the chipboard than it would be to sell the wood chip. So might as well turn the engine off. I'm going to clear that section just here so I can put in the... Yeah, we'll do it about here. And I think as well some of these trees are a bit too chunky. We've got some big boys here. That the smaller, cheaper tree harvesters that I normally start out with won't cut the larger radius trees. So what I'll do is I'll go and grab... I know I've done logging before. You've seen me do the logging when I cleared all the area, and I try. Yeah, those were interesting episodes. Where I had all these zany ideas of how I was going to load up trailers and how I was going to move the stuff around. It didn't quite go to plan, but you know, as I always say, it's only stupid if it doesn't work, and that was stupid. It happens. And I'll get my trailer up here. The other thing I was thinking is, well, you know, I bought that random trailer. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I'm thinking of buying the other one. It does... Well, you can go up to 500,000 litres, but it's 40,000 or 70,000. Then a big jump up to 500,000. The, also, is it no, not the Demco, the Wilson. So I might do that. Yeah, I'm going to need to get the stumps out of the way here, aren't I? If I'm going to put something down. So I'm going to go and get a stump grinder. I'm just going to lop a few more of these down. I'm just thinking, I'm not going to need to do as short lengths because I've got the weight on the back of the telehandler, and I'm only going to be putting it into a static wood chipper right here. So I haven't got to transport the logs far. I could probably drag them as they are if I wanted to. But I'll probably cut them into thirds, maybe. Clear a bit more of this, and we'll see how we get on. Just trying to experience what the map has to offer, especially since the update. Let's get in there, get it done. Beacons off the beaten path. There's nobody about. There's no one about as someone walks around the side of the building. Brilliant. Lights on, and I'll put this on the back just to take a bit of pressure off the front 3-point link. It doesn't really make a difference, but hey. So what you should do, and what we can do now is, I'm pretty sure. Oh yes. Change driving position, so turn this on. I wonder if you can turn that off so it doesn't kind of cultivate the ground at the same time. What I'm going to do is drop that down and I'll use it to let's just push that log out of the way. I suppose technically I should still have those on if I'm working. Whoa, that kicked back a little bit. So what I'll do now is just, because I've got the stumps cleared, well those first 3 or 4 anyway. God, this is a bit longer than I was expecting. There we go. Chop these up. I miss my lightsaber. I do like using it. Doesn't go down so well when I do, but I do like it. We've got some tall trees at this end of the woodland, haven't we? Just looking at it. I mean, they're not densely packed, but there's a few here. I should get a bit out of this. I'm not, whereas I had the measuring stick before, I'm not bothered about measuring these. These don't have to be a particular size to go onto a trailer or anything like that. So what I should be able to do... I can go from that actually, have it focused on the actual implement itself. It's always an interesting camera angle, it kind of messes with my eyes a little bit. So we should be able to do. Actually. No. Speed. It's not going to work. Oh. I thought that would work a little bit better than that. I need to get it into the groove. No, I'm wishing I'd just gone for a big one of the bag handlers. If I push it up against another tree, mind you, I suppose if there's enough of them all piled up, which is great, it would work better if you've got a tree harvester. But again, it's all learning curve, isn't it? Come on. Come on, just roll backwards. Log physics, people. Come on. How can that be stuck there? There we go. That's better. I should not have been that difficult. of the way for the time being. Should fit in this gap, I think. I haven't checked, but it's not too big. So in this gap here, there we go. So logs in. We'll put the logs here. We've got to manage production, light switches, that kind of shenanigans. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's going to work to our advantage then. Chipboards is a 3-to-1, so we're going to lose, 2/3. But the wood is a 1-to-3, so we'll get 3 times as many wood chips as lumber that we put in. So it will balance itself out completely. One will go one way, one will go the other. Happy days. So I guess what I want to do now. Yeah, I might change the grab to log grab. I'm not sure. But I suppose what I could do for the time being is just push these into place. Get over that log. I've not cut this one yet. No, whole tree. So those straps will come off once I cut it. Okay. Still sound one, fair enough. That there. Oh, there we go. Took that. 3000. Let's turn that on. That's cool. Now, what do we have? Let's just use a Zetor. There we go. So we should have lights. There'll be markers, a sign, I would imagine. There we go. I'll leave the lights on for the time being. Make it a bit easy to see what we're doing with it. Blimey, it's bright, isn't it? Yeah, because usually something like this, once you get the forks kind of under it, it will roll onto it. Doesn't seem to want to know. If that doesn't work, then it's just a case of tilting it, getting the right angle. But that will only go that far. It won't go any further than that. And the straps, oh, that reached. Okay. Oh, that's a hefty one. Why done the whole tree again? I thought I'd cut them all. Oops. Yeah, what was I saying? I was saying about the trailer. That went out of my head completely, as it does. Yeah, that one I used when I was doing the sugar beeting, the super hopper. It's 83 grand. I'm not going to get very much back for mine now. I bought the Randon, didn't I? And it wasn't cheap either. I think once I had a few additions on there. I'm just not liking it. I'm not a fan of it. And again, that kind of thing of, it's that, do you stick with equipment that fits the area, and when you start, or at least I think when you start, that works, because you want stuff that's going to fit the area. That worked a minute ago, and now it won't. Oh. But then if you're going to upgrade and update the file and bring it into the modern era, you're going to want to use different manufacturers and newer stuff. I don't know, it's always a tricky one to balance, isn't it? Oh. Okay, this thing. I've had enough of this already. Oh, did we get somewhere? No. Roll backwards, there we go. There's going to be a knack, isn't there, that makes it seem really simple and straightforward. I think I'm a bit better off with the log grab. I'm going to whiz back to the store and grab a log grab. Like I say, this could just be a technique thing, and I could find something that works really, really well, but not loving it at the moment. Come on, just get this is going to work better with big piles of lumber, isn't it? Where you can come up to the pile, and the pile itself, there you go. Once you've got something against it, it will scoop really well, but for individual logs, not working. Well, I'd not say not working, just not working the way I hoped it would. So I'm going to cut down some more trees, do some more stumps. Heading back up, I've had one of the workers bring the lorry up with the random trailer. Ooh, makes me want a bath, but I might get a new one at some point. We'll see. I've got enough money, I could do it. It would be a 20 grand hit, because I think I can sell the random for 60 grand and the new one will be 83, so it'll be a little bit of a hit on that. I think I'm going to change it out. I've switched out for a multi-purpose monoblock fork bucket from the CSZ, say bucket grab, from the CSZ pack, which goes back to my roots, of logging. Using manure for, I've said this a lot of times before, and it, again, depends how long you've been watching my channel for, but I do find, again, top tip, there are loads of different ways you can lift logs, move logs, wheel loaders, telehandlers, skid steer loaders, you name it, big bag handlers and all sorts of stuff. But if you come in here, for example, to telehandlers, and we go along to that, the log fork has got 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top, which is okay, and it grabs the logs. If you've got a longer log, they tend to twist. So because the 2 at the bottom aren't particularly wide, if it tilts to the left or to the right, the 1 on the top just hasn't got enough to keep hold of it. I used to find they used to swing around a lot and they were horrible to grab. So log forks that have got a 2 and 2 work a lot better. So what I used to do was just grab a manure fork, because the manure fork has got a longer or a wider grab to it. You can still grab large forks. I know it wasn't designed for that, but then when you go to the CSZ stuff, there's a whole load of stuff in there. It's a lot more sturdily designed, and because you can tilt these right up and over, grabbing logs becomes a whole lot easier. You may only do 1 at a time, you may do 2 at a time, but I have to say, again, for people that don't like logging very much, because moving logs around, picking them up, that kind of thing is often tricky, people don't like doing it, it just works really well. They grab, they hold, nice wide grab on it, then we've got to worry too much. And again, as you move up through the gear, if you've got a wheel loader, there are much bigger log grabs where you can grab multiple logs at a time and that kind of thing. For smaller logs, you can probably get 2 or 3 in this grab because it goes out quite wide. But it just comes down to what you want to do, how it works, what you prefer. Is it a lot of extra work? Is it a lot of extra handling? Potentially. But as I've always said, I don't mind jobs like this. You know, there are often times where if I've got a time crunch, if I've got to get something done, if I need to get a video up and out, or you know, I'm going out, or I'm going to dinner with MrSealyp, or we're going away on holiday, you think, well, I just need to get a video done, then yeah, I'll try and find ways of doing things as quickly as possible. But if I've got a whole day, like I've done harvest contracts and stuff before, and I've said I'll stick an audiobook on, if there's no rush, and I can just enjoy playing the game, I can just enjoy whatever it is I'm doing, farming, logging, whatever. But as you can see, compared to that other one, and I could probably get 2 or 3 in that grab if I wanted to. And if you were using a tree harvester, and you're harvesting the trees and it's laying them down in piles of 3 or 4, depending on how long the tree is, you can grab more at a time. Let's do that. I've got a fair bit there already, so what I'm going to do in a moment, put some more in, and then I'm going to bring the rounding over, I'm going to fill it up, I'm going to take the wood chips to the sawmill so I can get some chipboards already producing. So while I'm cutting more trees down, doing more logging and bringing the logs to the wood chipping, and that wood chipping, that's supplied by Zodlzot. I think it's a Zodlzot one, and it's rapid, it's properly fast. So let's do this. Do that. Oh, not quite. We've done a little bit. Come on. There we go. Oh, still doesn't want to grab it. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. Come on. It does not want to grab that extra one. We got it now? We got it. So I suppose potentially, I mean, yeah, it depends. I don't know actually how fast the chipboard production is. It's fairly quick. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and grab the lorry now. Where do I need to? I think it's in front of the shipping container. I think it is. There we go. What have we got? What have we got? Wow. Holy moly. Okay, so we've gone from 1 to 3, we're now going to go from 3 to 1. Which all it just means is the literage of trees or wood chips we're getting from the trees will remain exactly how it should be. There will be no loss. Now wood chips for the sawmill, which is just there, carpentry's to our right, gets put in all up here. So what I should be able to do is, if I can swing in here with the random, am I on tip side left or right? Potentially. Oh, still taking it. Should have put it on tip side back, but that's alright. And then we'll get some wood chips being done. Not some wood chips, chipboard. Now what I can do as well, if I decide to produce planks at the sawmill, because wood chip is a byproduct of producing planks, so you get your planks and you get some wood chip, I can then just set the chipboards to be produced with the wood chip that's a byproduct. So I don't have to be wood chipping as I'm doing now. I can just bring it all in to my sawmill and just make chipboards out of the byproduct from the milling process. So if I look at our planks, so planks is wood in, planks out, and wood chip as a byproduct. Then I just set the wood chip to make chipboard. Well, all I'm doing is just wood chipping and putting the wood chip straight in, so it doesn't matter which way around you do it. So what I'm going to do is turn that on, and we'll start making some chipboard while we carry on doing the rest. I think I'll clear a few more trees around our stationary wood chipper. Now, as I've said, with every processing game there are multiple ways of doing it. I've used the Devourer before. I could bypass this whole thing completely. I could bypass the cutting down the trees. I could bypass cutting them up, picking them up, bring them over here. If I just get the Devourer, I can just drive up to a tree and it will cut the tree, devour it, wood chip it, store it, and you can put it into a trailer, or you can put it straight into a trailer from the Devourer, all in one hit. So I wouldn't have to do all of this stuff in between. It's not realistic necessarily. I mean, there are wood chippers that do that. The mobile wood chippers will do it, but this is just the way I decided to do it with the equipment I've got. And I wanted to put in some more infrastructure, so I thought I'd go about my business like this. So what I'm going to do now is, is that too far over? Potentially I need to move that back. I'm going to cut some more trees down, get some more lumber in, get some more of these trees cleared around behind, I think, so I've got a bit more room to get the lorry in and out. So it doesn't like that. Alright. Is that going to drop onto my fence? It's a sunny thought, I didn't look. Ah! No! Luckily the fence is made of sterner stuff. Remember people, always wear a climbing harness when you're being an idiot. I might leave a couple of those around the back there just to have a little bit of shade. Hide it from the road kind of thing. It's 11:32. I've cleared just over a half of the rest of the area that I need. Well, I say need to clear it. I don't need to clear it. I've got some more stumps to grind out. I've been kind of doing them as I go. So I've got a few more to do this side. I'm looking at the land now, thinking I've got olives here. I'm wondering whether or not to put some grapevines in this side. You know, I've got another idea of something I want to do because we've got a wheat harvest to do. Something that I think might fit really nicely. But again, I don't want to, you know, in case it doesn't happen. It's not. I'm not trying to be, you know, cliffhangery and keep them in suspense. I'm just not sure at the moment, and I don't want to say I'm going to do this, going to do this, going to do that, and then I don't do it, which I often do. But as you can see, yeah, I've got some smaller ones here. We might take out. I'll get the stumps done, but we have got, with the 1 to 3 at the wood chipping, we've got just over, I think just over 300,000. What did that just say? 316,000 litres. So that then, in there, will come down to just over 100,000 litres. But 100,000 litres of chipboard, that's 100 pallets, and they're paying 2,000 something at the moment. Take that. I've still got all that to clear as well, so I think we'll do right on this. So I'll fill this up, top that up, and while I'm sorting out the stumps, I'll get the stumps done, and then before the end of the episode, hopefully we'll have a chipboard pallet. And to be fair, it hasn't taken as long as I thought it would. As I said earlier, I could do it quicker. But with what I'm doing, what I've got, it just works. I'm not having to transport stuff far. I could have used my smaller trailers. I could have done it with a bucket, with a wheel loader and a bucket. I could have moved the wood chips. It doesn't have to be by lorry. You know, with all these things, it just comes down to what you've got available, what your style of gameplay may be. It might be what bits of equipment you've got. And you might think, well, rather than lease stuff, buy stuff, I've got this, I'll make it work with what I've got. Or it might just be the perfect opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to indulge and I'm going to buy something or lease something or try something I've never tried before. Oh, that's what I was going to do, change that. Hopefully that should have changed it back. Don't walk behind me. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Right, so am I tip side right now? Yep, so I'll do it again. I think it's only left to right. Okay. So how are we looking? That's our wood. Chipboards, 546 litres, so not far till we get our first one. I'll probably transfer another full load over. I mean, the wood chips, the wood storage there, 300,000 litres, and it's barely touched the sides. So that, I mean, that will take millions of litres of wood chip if I wanted it to. So I'll load this up, do another full run, I'll get the stumps ground out, and let's just wait on our first wood chips. Very exciting. I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, I assume it's going to look like wood chips, but... Oh, wood chip, sorry, chipboard. A little bit of landscaping around the side here, not too much. Let's do that. Yeah, I think it might be quite nice here. With the view across there, sun comes up and across, so the sun will be on it most of the day. Put some grapevines in maybe. But I think if I'm going to do that, I'll take Dozer John's advice, and I'll plough it. I'll plant grass first, and then I'll put the vines in. That's the better way around of doing it, I think. Okay then, it's 1:53 in the afternoon, we've got rain coming. I've done the stumps that were there. I've got some more to do. I just thought, having spent the money on the land, because I bought it to do the olives on, I might as well make it as profitable as possible. So in clearing the lumber that side, we made some money. Hopefully the olives will make some money. If we do any baling of any description, that will help out whatever we're doing. This side, if I put grapevines in, we should make some money, and the rest of the logging to come, plus the lumber and the wood chips that's coming off this, we'll be getting our chipboard. So we're utilising this land as profitably, yeah, as possible. If that's even a word. Profitably, yeah, probably. And here we should have there we go. It actually does look like chipboard as well. That's incredibly well done and incredibly well textured. The side of that, it looks like chipboard. Is that pick up a ball? No, to bring some forks up. I bought up the Deutz and a couple of small trailers, so as more gets produced we can load it up and we can take it off and sell it. And with what we've got here and what we've got left on there, if these are over 2,000 for a pallet and I've got 100 of them, that's over 200 grand. So far into this, the sawmill was 125 and the wood chipper was 25. That's 150. So if we sell all the pallets that this produces, we're already back into profit by 50 grand. Plus there's more lumber to come off of that can either be put through as planks or put through as wood chips. So again, it's one of those investments looking forward into the future. To continue using it, if I used it over the next year, 2, 3, 4 years in game, it's going to be profitable. It's going to make us money. So the investment up front was well worth doing. But that is where I'm going to end the episode. I was going to jump ahead to the next to harvest, but I think, and I just need to double check this, I'm pretty sure if we go to here, if we are going to do grapes, we've only got May 1 and May 2 to get grapes in. Olives we were okay, we had through till June to plant, but grapes we've only got the rest of this month. So what we might do then, I need to plough that, grass it. So next episode I might put some grapes in. Yeah. Why not? Might as well let them grow, let them use the sun. This can be our little vineyard, orchards type thing. Anyway, it's because I'm now wandering. My mind's thinking about moving forward, what I need to do next, that kind of thing. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.